Okay. And Travis Andrews is a poet and musician based in Kelowna, BC. He was the Slam Poet Champion of Inspired Word Cafe in 2020 and recently released a poetry-inspired hip-hop album. He can be found everywhere at Frantic Rhymes. Travis.
Hey, what's up, everybody? As mentioned, my name is Travis Andrews. I'm a multi-instrumentalist. Play piano, play drums, play baritone, ukulele. Just put out an album called Wisdom and Wonder. Have an upcoming poetry album coming out. So if you like what you hear and you wonder what it would sound like set to a beat, hit me up at Frantic Rhymes or my website, franticrhymes.com. Thanks. So I've got two poems here. One is I'm just going to lower this just a little bit. One is a poem about childhood memory, and one is about an ever-pervasive feeling that I'm sure a lot of artists feel during adulthood. So I'm going to start with the childhood one. This is entitled Goodbye to the Bears. When I was but a child, a yearly tradition consisted of a mission looking back, maybe slightly twisted, or the most Lumbee thing to ever exist. Enlisted then, a dozen beds of trucks, clambered in rosy-cheeked children with hearts in throats that stuck. Somewhere between pilgrimage and invasion, it felt like the bravest pressing of luck, aloof and yet so brazen. That shivering rattle with cold steel through my shirt that reached, the autumn air, the crackling leaves, and the way our breath would steam. Lean and sway, the tires that bounced and played, briefly finding purchase in the tractor tracks engraved, here upon the dirt, encircling while we perched, bright eyes that gazed into swaying stalks of maize, a maze of ears that turned to us, awaiting and expectant, little hinting at their bestial contents, gorging and resplendent. Before us stood the results of a year of human toil, nature set to mankind's order, wrenched up from the soil. The oldest of traditions, the quest of bellies filled. One could hardly blame the beasts that descended from the hills. And that was it, this was our goal, the beasts that we would see. The trucks, the tractor, orbiting opposite around the field. Each revolution a shrinking circuit, one step closer to revealed. The jaws within mirrored those without. Childhood courage was sought and steeled. The game began with nervous laughter and boasts of bravery, as we slowly trundled onwards faster, engrossed in discovery. The echoed howling of metal jaws that devoured the greenery, filtered to us through the stalks, empowering our imagery. Of howling ancient monsters that lurking and waiting within, the oldest horror that we knew, a toothed furry grin, that which stalked within the dark, all claws and yellowed eyes, the lanes within which none dare walked, lest echoed your goodbyes. Surprise, a shout, a rise, then crouch, a furtive, furry figure, glimpsed within the flickering boughs, perhaps here we should not linger. For a child lost in his oversized jacket, this sight brought strange feelings. The scent in front, the sun above, and this adjacent primal scene, human wrought steel, forged into the shape of devouring teeth, that slowly engorged themselves in a bestial home that shrinks. Throughout these musings, vehicle again moving, a loosely melancholic moment. Again the pause, the shout, applause, and a creature streaks towards tree line closest. The whooping, whistling jubilation that followed at his pause, the wonder and fascination that his brief visitation had caused. The memory is strong, the gathered throng hunched then amongst the mud, like a holy relic, paw mark embedded as we traced where he had run. The sun slowly baked, turned to windswept dusted flakes, and a strange feeling we had won? A solemn child who awaits autumnal scent that met their lungs. I understood the necessity, the need to gather up their home, a non-permanent residency and the time to send them back to Rome. To feed our own, there exists a splendor and a joy, but that feeling never left me, how mankind seems to create just to destroy. Goodbye to the bears. Thank you. It's a really fond memory, but every time I tell somebody that we used to go watch the bears run out of the cornfield as like a fun childhood activity, I'm very quickly reminded I'm from Lumbee. Okay, we're gonna swap the tones a little bit here. I'm not gonna introduce this one. I'm just gonna jump into it. How much self-loathing is normal? I'll wait. Prostrate. Look, maybe this abates, but happiness and me seem like a dog in a car chase. I thought I caught it once, it was just exhaust in the face, lost and disgraced. How much negative self-talk is normal? Like per week? If someone spoke to my friends like this, they wouldn't leave in one piece. But I guess it's fine when it's me. I should know how to act to a degree. But that makes the snaps and snarls perfectly fine to receive. So apparently some part of me believes. I should know better, should do, act, and think better. I should have this inner voice clapped in fetters, pushed down and tangled in its own ripped pink sweater, but I digress. Look, you see how it circles like that? You F up, and then you beat yourself up, and then you feel this level of guilt for how much you're beating yourself up, so you get mad at yourself for that. A never-ending cycle of a carousel that I put the quarter into myself. Look, I wonder if it's one of those questions a lot more people ask than I realize. People steeped in their lives, hesitant, questioning. The people all around them are all legal ties meets evil eyes. I think a lot more people question if they're happy than we're willing to believe. I think a lot more people have that quiet moment in the dark looking at their bedroom ceiling when all is quiet save for breathing. That inner sigh with that mild reeling in a silence that seems to amplify. One wonders, is this what I wanted? That moment seems to stretch a vague melancholy despondence, and I'm very curious how long people will spend in that moment on average. A certain amount surely shrug it off and continue their journey into sleep's sweet grasp. But the others, how many are there, these others? Half a life ago, I began to have these moments with my ceiling. Late at night, the darkened room simultaneously telling me I'm right and wrong for what I'm feeling. I thought it was an argument I'd slowly learn to win, but as I got older, I have to say that hope has grown thin. Began to molder like embers that no longer smolder. And sometimes, I stay up far too late, listening to music far too loud, and the sound of people's souls from halfway across the world causes me to reel and my head to bow. It is a riot against the loss of time. I want to live, I want to create, I want to be who my heart screams I am, inside, in harmony, rhythm, and rhyme. I want to find every single person who feels the way I do and take their hand in mine, and we will glow so brightly, sublime. I want to scream, please let me become that man I imagine. Will I ever have enough time? Will I ever affect anyone in any positive way? Will I ever successfully take this burning in my chest and turn it into something that will cause others to lift their heads from their forearms? And by this time, it's like 3 a.m. I've managed to talk myself into an exhausted day of work, and I'll spend the subsequent 24 hours being even more of a grumbling jackass than usual. So I stumble home, and once again the headphones touch my ears, and I find myself asking again, how much self-loathing is normal? Thank you. Hit me up with Frantic Rhymes if you like that. Come up to the Inspired Work Cafe. Love you all. Thanks. Bye.